Hey, Cowboys Nation. We are diving deep today into a development that could reshape the Dallas Cowboys offensive line for the rest of this season and potentially impact their approach heading into next year. The big news is that Tyler Smith is going to remain at left tackle rather than sliding back inside to guard, a move that carries implications not just for him, but for the entire line. With Tyler Gayton sidelined due to his high ankle sprain, the team needed a solution, and Smith has been deemed the best option to protect the blind side. There's a lot to unpack here, because while this may seem like a simple positional adjustment, it touches on strategy, player fit, and a long-term outlook for the Cowboys' front five. Tyler Gayton's timeline for recovery has been frustratingly slow, as expected with a high ankle sprain, which generally calls for 4 to 6 weeks off. This means that for at least week 17, he will not be available to return to action. In his absence, the coaching staff has decided to keep Smith in the left tackle role. If Gayton does manage to come back later in the season, it appears he will not automatically resume his left tackle duties. Instead, he could serve as a swing tackle, providing depth and flexibility across the line. This approach is seen as a luxury because it allows the team to rotate players strategically, but also opens questions about how the line will look both now and in the coming seasons. The question now becomes whether keeping Smith at left tackle is the right move. Many analysts and fans have debated this, noting that Smith has proven capable at tackle, but has arguably been more effective as a guard. Guards often thrive when they can manage interior pressure and provide steady protection up the middle, which in turn gives a quarterback like Dak Prescott more time and space to operate. Tackles, particularly left tackles, face the most physically imposing defenders on the edge, and the skill sets required differ in subtle but crucial ways. Smith has demonstrated the versatility to handle both roles, but the consensus among insiders is that his tools and habits might be better utilized inside. This season, Nathan Thomas has struggled when forced into the left tackle position. While he has had moments where he held his own, the penalties and occasional blown assignments have been concerning. In contrast, Smith brings stability and reliability. His ability to maintain consistent protection could reduce the risk of pressures and sacks on Prescott, which has been one of the underlying narratives of this offensive line. Interior protection can often make the difference in how effective a quarterback is, especially one who reads defenses quickly and needs clean pockets to execute plays. Offensive line coach Duke Manny has publicly emphasized that Smith's strengths are maximized at guard. His combination of size, agility, and technique translates well to the interior, where he can dominate matchups against defensive tackles and blitzing linebackers. While he can survive at left tackle, the question remains whether this is sustainable as a long-term solution. The Cowboys are weighing the immediate need to field their best available five, with the potential consequences of keeping Smith outside his natural comfort zone. Looking forward to 2026, these decisions take on even greater significance. Gayton's eventual role, Terrence Steele's continued development, and the potential integration of younger linemen all factor into the team's strategic plan. Steele, for example, has shown a plateau in performance. He can hold his own, but is unlikely to significantly improve beyond his current level. Meanwhile, Gayton, when healthy, has proven capable at left tackle and could be critical in balancing the line for future seasons. The team's front office must consider whether short-term stability outweighs long-term development, particularly with financial implications like contract structures and cap space. Smith's placement at left tackle also intersects with salary considerations. There's speculation that positioning him as the highest-paid guard in the league, while still having the flexibility to move him outside if necessary, could be a calculated decision by the front office. From a strategic perspective, this move could preserve talent without overcommitting at the tackle position, which traditionally commands higher salaries. Whether this is the best approach from a football standpoint, however, remains a topic of debate. TJ Bass has been integrated at left guard recently, creating another dynamic within the line. His performances have been mixed. While he has flashes of effectiveness, there have been plays where he failed to sustain blocks or allowed defenders to collapse the pocket. Comparing a line with Smith and Bass versus Gayton and Smith highlights the delicate balancing act involved. Coaches must assess not only who has the most raw talent, but also who complements the overall scheme and quarterback strengths. Every adjustment has ripple effects that can influence timing, run blocking efficiency, and pass protection consistency. Injuries and recovery timelines remain a pressing concern. Gayton's high ankle sprain, sustained in late November, places him at risk of missing critical games in December. Even when players are medically cleared, returning to full-speed play requires cautious reintegration to avoid setbacks. This leaves the Cowboys needing contingency plans, particularly in the left tackle position, where mismatches against elite edge rushers can have immediate consequences for game outcomes. The team's handling of offensive line personnel also touches on talent management. Some players, like Nathan Thomas, may not be long-term solutions at tackle. Others, like Smith, provide flexibility but raise questions about optimal deployment. The balance between short-term needs and long-term planning is constantly under scrutiny, and decisions made in this window could influence both team performance and roster construction for seasons to come. Performance metrics indicate that when healthy, Gayton had begun to show elite tendencies. Across his last 6 games before injury, he allowed minimal pressures and penalties, demonstrating a high level of consistency that is rare at the NFL level. Translating that consistency to a swing tackle role, or even forcing a return at right tackle, could limit the team's potential, especially when considering how different skill sets are needed for each tackle spot. The coaching staff faces the challenge of leveraging his abilities without compromising overall line cohesion. Meanwhile, Smith's ability to adapt cannot be overstated. He has stepped into the left tackle position effectively under challenging circumstances and has maintained the pocket for Prescott, giving the offense a measure of stability. However, long-term deployment at tackle may require him to adjust his mechanics, which can come with risks. His natural instincts as a guard, coupled with his size and mobility, suggest that the Cowboys may be extracting the best possible short-term output by keeping him at left tackle while Gayton recovers. The broader context of these moves involves evaluating the line as a cohesive unit. Run blocking, pass protection, and quarterback confidence all intertwine. Even small misalignments or mismatches on the line can cascade into pressure, sacks, or negative plays. In this sense, the decision to maintain Smith at left tackle is not merely a positional change. It is a strategic maneuver intended to stabilize the offense while keeping long-term development options open. Continuing with the discussion on the Cowboys' offensive line, it is important to consider how Tyler Gayton's role evolves if and when he returns. His high ankle sprain has kept him off the field for weeks, and even as the recovery timeline approaches its end, there is still uncertainty about his ability to step in at full strength. Gayton's experience as a left tackle is undeniable, and prior to the injury, he was performing at a level that suggested he could be a cornerstone for the line. His blend of technique, agility, and awareness allowed him to neutralize edge rushers effectively, creating more time and confidence for Dak Prescott to operate. This makes the question of where to place him a pivotal one, especially when considering the long-term construction of the line. There is talk among analysts that Gayton could function as a swing tackle, providing depth across both left and right tackle positions. While this flexibility has value, it also presents challenges. The swing tackle role requires quick adaptation to different defensive fronts, and it places physical and mental demands on the player. Gayton has shown the ability to thrive on the left side, where his habits and instincts are finely tuned. Asking him to operate on the right edge or only serve as a rotational piece could limit his effectiveness and reduce the overall impact he brings to the offense. The Cowboys must weigh the benefits of a versatile roster against the risk of underutilizing one of their most capable linemen. Terrence Steele's performance adds another layer to this complex equation. Steele has been a reliable presence on the line, but has largely plateaued in his development. He is the type of starter who can hold his own in most scenarios, but will occasionally be exposed by elite defenders, particularly in pass protection. His ceiling appears fixed, which raises questions about the team's approach to optimizing the left tackle and guard positions around him. Moving Gayton or Smith in ways that compensate for Steele's limitations could be necessary in the short term, But long-term, the Cowboys will need a plan that does not rely on masking weaknesses. Looking at the broader picture, Smith's continued role at left tackle has ripple effects for other players. His effectiveness in that spot directly influences T.J. Base's usage at left guard and the overall cohesion of the interior line. Base has shown promise, but remains inconsistent, particularly in high-pressure scenarios where defenders exploit gaps quickly. The combination of Smith and Base presents a tactical trade-off. While Smith may be slightly outside his ideal position, his ability to maintain pocket integrity could allow Base to perform at a higher level than he would alongside less experienced or less adaptable linemen. The coaching staff must continuously assess whether this pairing maximizes both individual performance and team protection schemes. Another critical aspect to consider is the impact on Dak Prescott's performance. Prescott has proven capable of reading defenses and adjusting on the fly, but even the most experienced quarterback benefits from a reliable line that can neutralize edge rushers and create lanes in the run game. Interior protection is especially important for a quarterback like Prescott, who excels when he can step up into the pocket rather than constantly facing defenders in his face. Smith's placement at left tackle, while unconventional, may offer a compromise that balances short-term safety with long-term development, allowing Prescott to operate with fewer immediate pressures while giving the team time to evaluate their options for 2026. Injury management and rotation strategies are also key considerations. Gayton's recovery, Steele's plateau, and the potential for other linemen to emerge all factor into the team's decision-making. Offensive lines require both continuity and adaptability, and a single misstep can have cascading effects throughout the game. By keeping Smith at left tackle, the Cowboys appear to be prioritizing immediate stability and limiting exposure to potential breakdowns in protection. However, this approach requires careful monitoring to ensure that players are not overextended or placed in roles that could diminish their effectiveness over time. Financial considerations remain intertwined with strategic decisions. Contracts, salary cap implications, and the relative value of positions must all be balanced against performance outcomes. Smith's potential status as one of the highest-paid guards, despite playing tackle temporarily, illustrates how the Cowboys are attempting to manage both talent and resources. Similarly, decisions about Gayton, Steele, and other linemen must account for future financial flexibility, particularly as the team approaches critical contract negotiations and potential offseason moves. The goal is to maintain a competitive line while avoiding long-term financial commitments that could constrain the team's options in 2026 and beyond. Performance metrics provide further insight. Gayton, before injury, was trending toward elite performance, minimizing pressures, hits, and sacks allowed while maintaining a consistent run-blocking presence. Smith has been competent at left tackle, providing solid protection, but his natural skill set suggests he could excel even more in the guard position. The coaching staff faces a balancing act between deploying players where they can maximize immediate contributions and planning for sustainable success. This is a delicate calculation, as small misalignments or mismatches along the line can have outsized consequences, affecting not only Prescott's comfort, but also the overall efficiency of the offense. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers are circulating in NFL circles as the Dallas Cowboys prepare for their upcoming clash with the Los Angeles Chargers, and all eyes are on Brian Schottenheimer. The Cowboys' offensive coordinator, known for his meticulous approach and zero-tolerance policy when it comes to discipline, reportedly made a shocking move that has sent ripples through the locker room. According to sources close to the team, a starting player has been sidelined ahead of the game due to disciplinary issues, a decision that underscores Schottenheimer's strict stance on accountability. While the identity of the sideline starter remains under wraps, insiders suggest that this is not the first time Schottenheimer has had to take decisive action against a player who allegedly crossed the line. His reputation for demanding professionalism and commitment has often led to heated moments behind closed doors, but rarely has it manifested in such a public and consequential way. Analysts speculate that this move could have far-reaching implications for team dynamics, both on and off the field, as players adjust to the message that no one is above the rules, regardless of status or past contributions. Fans and commentators alike are now left to wonder how this development will impact the Cowboys' offensive rhythm. Will backups be able to step up under the spotlight, or will the disruption in the lineup create cracks that the Chargers might exploit? Meanwhile, social media has exploded with speculation as supporters debate whether Schottenheimer's hardline approach is a necessary measure to maintain discipline or a risky gamble that could backfire under pressure. Sources hint that the decision was not taken lightly. It reportedly followed repeated warnings and internal discussions, suggesting that the coaching staff weighed the potential consequences before ultimately deciding that maintaining team standards outweighed short-term tactical considerations. In a league where star power often dominates headlines, this move reinforces the idea that leadership and accountability remain at the core of Schottenheimer's philosophy. As the Cowboys head into a high-stakes matchup, all eyes will be on how the team responds. Will this act of discipline galvanize the roster, sending a clear message about commitment and unity, or will it spark uncertainty among key contributors? Either way, the saga adds another layer of intrigue to an already electrifying matchup, leaving fans, analysts, and rivals alike eager to see the fallout from a coach who clearly does not forgive lapses in judgment. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.